Hey guys, Vazzy back here. It's time for episode 16 of our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode here on NHL 25. And we will be getting the first half of the 2028-29 regular season done in this episode. I honestly do not know what to expect with this team. Definitely went in a different direction in the offseason, playing more of the younger guys on higher lines, Callahan, Martone there. Hopefully it'll be the future for us. Ilian, we signed Doc in the offseason, gave him a 4-year contract, as well as also signing Capo Caco to a pretty team-friendly deal there for 3 years. Koivunen, Crosby, Cyclikov on the 3rd, and Appleton, Malkin, and Ponomarev on the 4th. Defensively, we're weak, and is really why I think we're going to have issues. We did get Koivunen here, mediumly 82 overall in the Brandon Hagel trade. Amazing prospect, amazing trade for us, I think. But I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this defensive core. It is very, very lower in overall, which is not great. And then Blomqvist, Ivan Kovac in the net. And Scratch is nothing too crazy of note. So I think we're just going to try and get this episode done here. Don't need to really mess around anymore. Let's go jump into this first game here against the Nashville Predators, and we'll see what direction this team wants to take. Here in Nashville, home opener, 1-0, 2-0 for the Predators. Second period, 1 goal each. Ilian gets the first goal of the regular season for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and in the third, Boone Jenner on the power play will win it for the Preds. So we drop our home opener here, but let's just continue on with it here. The Edmonton Oilers up next, another home game here for your Pittsburgh Penguins, and we're going to try and get a bunch of sim done here. First off, Edmonton Oilers, Ryan Lindgren goes down. We can probably go head coach fix the lines there. We lose by a score of 2-1. And then let's just go and see who was substituted in on that top pairing defense. I'm guessing, yeah, Cade Weber. We'll probably just move him down with Gavrikov. Koivunen can stay there on the second line. Don't want to overplay him right now, especially if this isn't a great team. So up next, the New York Islanders. It's a 5-3 win. Finally getting some goal scoring for this team. Up next, the Ottawa Senators here, another home game. And there we go, scoring 7 goals and beating the Senators puts us back to a 2-2 record here. Let's go and switch out the goalies here quick. Get Ivan Kovac his first couple of starts of the year. Blomqvist has started the previous 4. So goaltending definitely is a strength. Either guy we go to should be able to give us decent results. Up against the Sharks, that's a 4-2 win. And now we have a back-to-back coming up here, starting out with the New Jersey Devils. Lindgren's back. He'll sit 1 game before coming back. Up against the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey, it's a 3-2 loss in regulation. Let's go switch out the goalies and get Ryan Lindgren back in on the defensive core. So goalies first, Blomqvist, you can go back in. And then defensive core, Cade Weber will just swap out. Gavrikov there does have a lingering injury, but he should be okay there, being sheltered on the third pairing. But outside of that, I think we should be good to continue on with the sim here. So Flyers up next. Why not? Let's just go and jump into this game here against our state rival. First period here, 2-1 for the Flyers. Not the best way to start the game. Second period, 4-2 Flyers now. Michkov adds 1 for them, Rossi for us. And in the third, it is a 6-4 loss. So scoring some goals, but unfortunately could not keep the puck out of our net in that game. Okay, so let's continue on here, sitting with a record of 3-4 here through our first 7 games. Looks like we're going out west now against the Kings. That is a loss in the shootout. Up next, another game here in the west against the Anaheim Ducks. First part of a back-to-back. It's another loss in overtime. Let's go switch out the goalies here before we end up facing the Calgary Flames here. Once again in Calgary here as part of that West Coast swing. So up next here, Calgary Flames here. Can Ivan Kovac get a win? And he does, 4-1. Up next, the Toronto Maple Leafs up next as we finally return back home to Pittsburgh against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is a 6-5 win. Okay, not the prettiest win, but we got it done. The Washington Capitals up next. There's another big win for us. And back-to-back coming up here against the Montreal Canadiens, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a loss in the shootout against the Habs. Once again, let's just go switch out the goalies here before we face the back-to-back here against the Carolina Hurricanes. But Blomqvist, you can get back in there, and then let's continue on with the sim. Still really don't know what to make of this team yet. It's hard to say. It's a loss 5-2 to the Hurricanes. That's kind of more of what I was expecting. Injury down there in the AHL. It's no big deal. Let's go switch out the goalies here again. It seems like Ivan Kovic has been playing quite a bit better than Blomqvist here, at least in the limited sample size of like 10 games they've each played, or even 6 there for Ivan Kovic. But continuing on here against the Sabres, 4-3 loss in regulation. Toronto Maple Leafs up here again. Can we beat the Leafs once again? We do not this time. Detroit Red Wings up next. A very good team here in Detroit. That will be a 3-0 shutout. Okay, so we're sitting with a record of 7-7-0 here, or in 3 here, sorry, early on in the season. Where does that put us in the division? So we're currently sitting 4th, right behind Pittsburgh and the Islanders and the Devils. So we're still right in there. Still don't know what way this team is going to go just yet. Crosby leading the way. He's still killing it. Koivu in there, the forward. Wow, he is on the 3rd line now. Put up 14 points in 17 games. Very impressive. Ilian looking okay there. 14 points. Martone 13. Callahan there, -4 and only 9 points. Maybe we make a switch to that top 6. Nothing crazy. And outside of that, everyone's looking, decent enough. Broberg there, 11 points. Looks really good. The defense is almost all a plus except for Cade Weber and Whitecloud there. And then in the net, yeah, Ivan Kovic's been really good, 921 save. He definitely is going to probably be our guy here going forward, but we'll see what happens and who is playing better. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Callahan, maybe just swap him and Ilian? I think that's probably good. We even get the +2, which helps us out. Defensively, who was the negatives again? Gabrikov's fine. Oh yeah, it was Whitecloud and Weber. So honestly, the defense is playing fine. No one else is really concerning me. I think we just leave it as is and just see what this team is made of. We still really don't know yet this early into the season. Okay, so a couple days off here, facing the Winnipeg Jets up next. Jets are a pretty good team here early on, 11-7. They do shut us out here 3-0. Chicago up next, 17-3. They're very good this year. It's another loss back-to-back there, unfortunately. Need a win here against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're not a great team here this year. And we win 3-2. Another game here against the Calgary Flames, who are also having a tough start to their season. Can we capitalize? And we do in the shootout. Winnipeg Jets are coming up here once again for about 2nd time in about a week. Here in Winnipeg, this time we can beat them. Okay, so we have a second half of a back-to-back here. Let's go switch out the goalies here. Ivan Kovic has continued to play pretty good since we looked at the stats, but we will switch them out here in the back-to-back. And then AHL, we can also probably switch them now at this point too. And then let's continue on. We're still sitting 4th in the division. Let's see, against the Wild, ooh, we lose Ilian. Okay. So it looks like our first real injury of the year outside of losing Lindgren there for like a game or 2. So who do we have as scratched forwards here? Let's see. So Wahlstrom and Lucius. Let's honestly go Lucius here, the brother of Chaz Cruz Lucius, who came over in the Jake Gensel trade in real life. And he has that perfect scheme fit there on the first line, so who knows? We'll see what he can do there. Do have 4 days off here before playing the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets here still not doing great in the sim, faced them not too long ago. Injury there in the AHL, we can continue on. Big win there against the Jackets. Up next here we have the very good Chicago Blackhawks team. Can we beat them this time? We do not, losing 3-1. Okay, once again, switching out the goalies here. Still really don't know what way this team is going to go. Lucius, 2 games, 1 assist. He is a positive player. Looking alright there very early on. Ivan Kovic, you can come back in. And let's just continue the sim. Washington Capitals in Washington. Ilian's back. We can get him in for the next game. Big win there against the Caps. Okay, so Lucius at this point, he can come out. How did he do in his 3 games? 2 assists and a +1. Love to see it. But let's get Ilian there back on that top line. And then I think we're good to continue on here with the sim. Hopefully he can stay healthy there with the lingering injury. Up next here against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Once again, seems like we faced them a lot recently. Let's go and jump into this game, see if we can get our first win in the slow sim. Pretty sure we've lost both games so far. Alright, so here we go. In Columbus, first period, 2-1 for the Jackets. Second period, 4-1 for the Jackets. And we will lose the game by a score of 4-2. So I think that's going to be it for jumping into games here this episode, at least until the final one. And oh, Ilian does go down again. Okay, so let's just go replace player for now. That probably is going to put Wallstrom in because he's, the higher overall. So let's just go and put Lucius back there on that top line. And I guess he'll get a little bit more of an extended opportunity there playing in with those top players. Continuing on here now, the Vancouver Canucks up next. Let's see, can we beat the Canucks? We do 7-1. That's a statement win. Up next, we have Tampa Bay, followed by a home-and-home against New Jersey. Against the Bolts, 5-1 win. Another very impressive win by the guys. Let's continue on here. Let's switch out the goalies. And I think we're good to roll. Blomqvist, you can go back in. And let's see if we can beat the Devils. First game here at home against the Devils. Very good team in this universe. We do lose the first game. They sit with a record of 21-7-2. Wow. Second game here away. We do end up beating them 4-3. Another good team here in Boston coming up next. Another home game for us, which is nice. Ilian is back. We can probably wait till after this game against Boston. And against the Bruins, there's another win. Okay, so we're playing alright here. And we should be back to full health here once we get Ilian in. So Lucius, what have you done in your extended opportunity? Wow, 7 points in 8 games, +3. There you go. Maybe he can be a pretty decent forward for us at some point down the road. Don't think I want to permanently have him on the top line, but it's good to know he can substitute in there with a pinch if we have injuries or whatever. So continue on here against the Colorado Avalanche here in Colorado. We sit now third in the division with a record of 16-12-4. That's not bad. Continuing on here against the Avs, that is a 4-1 win. Ottawa Senators up next. Sens are, doing alright this year, very similar to us. Against the Senators, it's a 4-2 win. Okay, let's continue on. Seattle Kraken up next here. Kraken again doing pretty good. That is a 3-0 win. There we go. Okay, we're picking up some wins here. I like what this team is doing. Islanders up next. It's a 4-2 win. Sit now second in the division, 20-12-4. Montreal Canadiens in Montreal up next. That is another win. What is going on here? This team is on a roll. Home and home against the Flyers here. Not jumping in because we're losing those. That's a 3-2 win against the Flyers at home. Flyers on the road here. Can we continue our winning ways? And we do, 7-2. What is going on? The Red Wings up next here. Where do we sit now still? Still second, 50 points in the division. Can we beat the Wings? And we do in the shootout. Alright, so the Washington Capitals up next here. I'm pretty sure this is game number 41. So this is the halfway mark. I'm honestly willing to just keep going until we lose. That's 10 in a row for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Holy smokes. Okay, so I'm not jumping in. Let's just continue on. Can we beat the Capitals here? And that unfortunately will end our winning streak. They're losing 2-1 in the shootout. So I think that's going to be where we call the video here today, just halfway through the season, sitting with a record of 24-12-5. Good for 53 points, just behind the New Jersey Devils there was 61. But a pretty good lead over the Flyers, Islanders, and Jackets there, sitting with low 40s. That is good for putting us 5th in the entire NHL, so we're actually playing a lot better than I thought this team would. But looking at the player stats here, so Porter Martone, 40 points in 41 games. He's been really, really good for us early on. Is he? Yeah, he's still up at 89 overall. Kirby Dach with 38 and 41 has been impressive. Same with Rossi, 37. That's definitely going to be putting him on pace for a career high with us. Love to see it. Crosby there still with 34. Kakko 34. Even Callahan there really has picked it up here recently. 34 and 41. Looking at his last 10 games, he's put up 13 points and it's been a +12. Okay, so that was a good line change. Ilian 25, Koivunen 25. Everyone here is just doing really good. Like to see it. And the defense here, Broberg leading the way, but look at +28 for Pickering, 21 for Lindgren. even 16 there for Gavrikov. Very impressive. And then in the net, both goalies have been really, really solid. Can go to either one of these guys and you have a chance in every single game. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for today's video here, going through the first half of the regular season. The next one, we will go through the trade deadline, everything like that. It looks like we might be buying now. Maybe we're going to try and add to that defensive core, add some higher overalls, or maybe we let this team just play together and see what happens. I don't know, we'll figure that out in the second half of the season. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.